Please welcome CEO Commune Hotels and Resorts, Niki Leondakis.
Didn't need my glasses, those lights are bright. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to talk to you about the next generation lifestyle brand, disruption from the inside out. So the question is, what new idea will break the mold the way boutique hotels did in the 1980s? First, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of boutique hotels. In the early 80s, Ian Schrager started with Morgan's Hotels here in New York City. Steve Rebell coined the term boutique when he was describing Morgan's as compared to a retail boutique. In 1981, Bill Kimpton started his first boutique hotel in San Francisco with the Bedford Hotel. Ian's hotels were velvet ropes, lines to get in, exciting nightclub-type lobbies with rooms on top. Bill's idea of boutiques was a little bit different. His fundamental premise was we sell sleep. And the idea was that he was selling guests a room, a highly designed, very comfortable room in a boutique hotel with personalized service based on experiences he had while traveling through Europe. They differed from Ian's in that they didn't have the club and the velvet ropes. They really sold the guest on the idea that they weren't paying for amenities and services that they didn't want to pay for, whether it was spas or banquet rooms, meeting spaces, etc. In 1987, Chip Conley started with the Phoenix Hotel in San Francisco. This was a rock and roll hotel. All three were pioneers in the boutique and lifestyle segment. What they did was they broke the mold of what was happening in the industry at that time. For years, the customer wanted safety. They wanted safety and the assurance and predictability of chain hotels. So this was a time when we saw big brass, glass, marble, concrete buildings with soaring atriums. These three pioneers went small. They went boutique and they differentiated. Today, boutique hotels are the fastest growing segment in our industry. Mostly this is because boutique and lifestyle hotels appeal to travelers' lifestyle aspirations. They're aspirations for either who they think they are or who they wish they could become. Boutique hotels are now synonymous with lifestyle, design, experiential programming, social spaces, bustling restaurants and bars, individuality, and shared experiences. Coinciding with this, there's been a rise in demand for a different style of service, more casual, approachable service, friendlier service, not the servitude of years past, the formal, unobtrusive luxury hotel experience that people aspired to have. Today, human connection that is real is part of the experience. It's more about that than being pampered. The problem is that boutique and lifestyle hotels are beginning to all look and act alike. And then you throw in Airbnb and the marketing of locally authentic experiences that they provide, and how do you compete? How do we differentiate? Every hotel chain in the industry has rushed to enter the boutique and lifestyle segment with their boutique product. The irony is these big, giant, monolithic chains are doing boutique and lifestyle that are all based on individually handcrafted experiences with personalized service when they are centrally controlled and are not geared towards that kind of a empowered, locally centric business. But the solution in this differentiation is to focus on what the customer deeply desires. You can see where these are taglines from a lot of the boutique and lifestyle hotels that are out in the marketplace today. If you look at them, they're all kind of sounding alike. There's not a lot of difference. We hear authentic, we hear inspired, we hear local, we hear spirit over and over and over again. It all starts to sound like noise. And what the customer really deeply desires is human connection. Certainly style, design, experiential programming, these things all matter to today's traveler, but in the boutique and lifestyle segment today, these are the price of admission. You've got to have all that or you're not in the game. So how do we compete? Well, one thing we know is that human connection is the #1 factor in attaining personal happiness. What people crave today more than ever is a shared sense of humanity. We certainly connect through technology, whether it's social media or other forms, and we do in our hotels, having adopted texting or SMS technology as a way to engage our guests throughout all of our hotels last year. But the emotional connection through that technology has to happen. Technology enables the connection. It is not the connection. The solution is to focus on creating those emotional connections with our guests. With the internet providing unlimited choices for people today, differentiation by product or price simply isn't sustainable. Every good idea gets replicated. The only option is to focus on customer connection and doing that through team member engagement. According to Right Now research, the #1 reason customers stop doing business with a company is poor customer service. And 81% of companies with strong competencies in providing excellence in service are outperforming their competitors. For every customer who bothers to complain, 26 remain silent. A few days ago, I had an experience on Uber, and don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing Uber by any means. I wish I invented it. But I got let off from the airport in an Uber at my home, like I do a couple times a week, after being on the road. And the Uber driver was very pleasant, and he said, "Thank you, have a good evening," and then he popped his trunk. And then he sat there. I got out of the car, I went around the back, schlepped my luggage out of the trunk, and went on my way. And I thought, that was strange. They usually help. I went up and, did my thing and didn't think much about it. The next morning, I went to take an Uber again. And the 5 stars popped up, fill out your rating. And what did I do? I popped in 5 stars because it was the most expeditious way to get to ordering my next Uber. I wasn't about to fill out that comment section. Who has time? Most customers don't complain. He was pleasantly unhelpful. Another reason we don't inspire better customer service is that the language of the business world is completely devoid of emotion. Leaders are taught to communicate just the facts. The language of emotion is intentionally absent in corporate America. When was the last time we told one of our team members how much we care about them? Instead, we aspire to speak unemotionally from the head, cutting off the heart. What do? We end up creating transactional instead of relational workplace cultures. Then we expect our employees to create emotional connections with our guests. We train them to be friendly. We train them to smile. But what do we get? Pleasantly unhelpful. Recently, I stayed in a small boutique hotel, not one of ours, but a small boutique hotel. It was about 80 rooms. And I went down to the lobby at about 6:20 in the morning, and I saw on the guest room compendium that the restaurant opened at 6:30. But I wanted to get to the gym. I wanted to get in a quick workout because I had a meeting to get to. So I went to the front desk, nobody else in the lobby, front desk agent standing there smiling. And I said, "Any way I could get a cup of coffee?" And she said, "I'm sorry, the restaurant doesn't open until 6:30. And I said, "I know, it's 6:20 and I can smell the coffee brewing." And she said, "I'm sorry. If you just sit over there, it's 6:21, correcting my time, and wait for 9 minutes. You can get a cup of coffee when the restaurant opens. Very friendly, smiling the whole time, pleasantly unhelpful. There are some companies outside of the travel and hotel industry that get it. They understand, and they build a culture around their people. They understand that people are the competitive advantage. They understand they are nothing without their people. The common thread in these companies, in my view, it's 5 key things. I'm going to talk to you first about Danny Meyer, my hero. For those of you from New York City, I don't think he needs any explanation, but since this is a global travel forum, for those of you who don't know, Danny Meyer owns some of the most popular restaurants in New York City. And these are restaurants that have defied trends. They're timelessly successful and have remained on top and have raving fan loyalists year after year after year. I'm sure you've probably heard of Union Square Cafe, Gramercy Tavern, Blue Smoke, The Modern, and many more. But Danny gets it. He gets that it's all about his people. He gets that the way to the customer's heart is through the team member's heart. He understands that, and therefore his employees do too. And they're known for this incredible brand of service that they provide. That common thread that Danny's company and these other outstanding brands that have evangelical followings and engaged employees providing heartfelt customer service that breeds loyalty are these 5 things. Meaning in the work. Employees want to know what they're doing to make the world a better place. The meaning is about a higher purpose. It's about understanding how they make a difference in the world. It's not just about being a great employee or a great worker. It's about being a great human being. The second, diversity and inclusion. Employees want to be celebrated and recognized for their uniqueness and their differences. And they want to know how those differences contribute to the business being better. Recognition and appreciation programs. Research shows that the #1 reason people in America quit their job because they don't feel appreciated by their boss. Transparency, so simple, but it so rarely happens because information is power and people withhold information. Transparency is, employees want to know what's going on in their company. Communicate and share. Education and career path development. Employees want to know that there's a commitment to their future, that they have a future and management is willing to help them attain it. And then lastly, management's commitment to workplace culture. Managers of award-winning cultures, of cultures that retain and attract the best talent, understand that the people you let go are as critical as the people you hire and keep. They mine for people who are deviants of the cultural norms that they aspire to. They mine for those variations, and they quickly address it, not ever tolerating, even with the highest performer, someone who doesn't live and breathe that culture. At Commune Hotels, we're often recognized for high design, for experiential programming, and for bustling, highly locally frequented bars and restaurants. And we have all those things. But what makes the difference are our people. And what makes them make the difference? It's our higher purpose. And it's our core values, and how our people understand how they bring those to life and why they make a difference, not just to our business, but to their personal lives and in the world. Our higher purpose is to create transformative experiences that inspire the human spirit. And our 10 core values, celebrating individuality, be thoughtful, listen, laugh often, live with the heart of an innkeeper, be humble, continuously improve, seek balance, cherish our resources, and follow your angel, ignore your devil most of the time. Those are aspirations that we hold ourselves to, not just so we can be great at our jobs, but so we can be our best selves in our lives. I know this was true when we rolled out those values 4 years ago, and a staff accountant in one of our hotels sent me an email, and she said, Niki, I printed those out and hung them on my refrigerator. I'm raising my children to live up to these values. I know they'll be better people if they do. The only way employees are inspired to emotionally connect with our customers is when we inspire them and we touch their heart and they understand what it looks like in their job to do the same for our guests. I'm going to show you a little video that tells you in their words what these values mean to them. Creating opportunities and experiences for our employees, yeah, that's meaningful.
People then tend to pay it forward. You can maybe impact 2, 3, 4, 5 people within your staff who can then maybe impact 3, 4, 5 people, and it just kind of like spreads out.
My hope for these 10 values is that they just become a way of being.
I think this is what it's all about, is to create those connections.
Who wouldn't want to work in an organization like that?
Boutique and lifestyle hotels possess the ability to deliver personalized, customized, heartfelt experiences through the employees' connections with their guests. They're small enough. They're decentralized, generally. They're authentic boutiques. They're not centrally controlled. Yet everyone in our segment today has turned to interior design, celebrity chefs, technology gadgets, distribution platforms for solutions to owning our customer. The customer is seeking community, connection, and shared experiences. American Express recently rolled out some research that showed that baby boomers and millennials equally value a personalized guest experience. The basics of service, of hospitality, have been completely compromised to make room for innovation. The best innovation comes from the inside out. Creativity happens when our employees are empowered and they're not feeling any fear. This is what that looks like. Life is all about human connections. Lifestyle hotels have the opportunity to bring more humanity and connection between guests and team members into the hotels by creating environments that foster genuine human connections at a deeper level. One where Instagram photos are about our guests sharing photos of employees that touch their hearts, rather than light fixtures, carpets, and amenities. In a society that has come to value total experiences more than things, kindness, heartfelt personalized care, and most of all, genuine hospitality are the best differentiators in boutique and lifestyle hotels. But it starts with providing those for our employees first. Thanks very much.